Oh, shoot. Wait, we can't start yet.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Kid Stays in the Podcast. I'm your host, Trey Cooper, and joining me today is...
Solomon Cocaine.
Oh, that was good. See what happens when you just get put on the spot?
It's
much worse.
You scared the crap out of me.
Joining me today, as always, is Solomon Cooper, and today we're going to be discussing a very deep movie, a movie that moved us as only a movie.
Very core.
Yes, it was like Shoah for this generation.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's like a 10-hour-long documentary about the Holocaust.
Oh, that's really sad.
Yes. Today we're going to be discussing...
He's right.
What?
Sorry, you were right.
Why do you keep interrupting me?
You keep talking so fast before I can say a word.
I'm trying to get this show going.
Okay.
I'm trying to also act like, I had some of the good stuff.
Oh, I see.
So as Solomon already kind of spoiled the movie, he gave it away.
Well, you said it was good.
Today we're going to be talking about the Elizabeth Banks movie, Elizabeth Banks.
I love Elizabeth Banks.
The Elizabeth, I can't say her name.
Elizabeth Banks movie.
Her. We're talking to her new movie, Cocaine Bear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nope, you can't say that anymore. You're done with that.
Yes.
No, you actually can't say it anymore. It's the most annoying new phrase.
It's not new.
I don't even hear any other people saying it, so it's like you're the only one keeping this dumb trend alive.
It's not a trend. Just
apparently there's this really dumb trend where when somebody does something good, you say yes sir in a really stupid voice.
You go, yes sir.
It's really dumb. It's honestly it's so annoying.
Well, yes sir, yes ma'am, yes them.
You did it like while we were watching that play like 50 times.
I said it twice.
It was so dumb.
I said yes ma'am once.
I couldn't handle it.
You need to calm down. He's being dramatic. He's a dramatic little boy.
We're banned. That word is banned from this podcast.
Which one?
You can't be like, yes, sir. Oh, yeah, get him.
All right. Well, if you
those things.
If you ever tell me if you ever give me an order, I'm going to say yes.
I've asked you to say yes, sir, to me.
I say yes, sir, by instinct.
You've never said yes, sir, to me in a non-sarcastic.
To you.
You're such a liar. You've never said it.
That's not true.
You've never said that to me before in my life.
Okay.
And if you did, like I said, it was very sarcastic.
It was never sarcastic. Never once have I been sarcastic.
So, Cocaine Bear, I was really looking forward to this movie. I really like Elizabeth Banks. I don't know how much I liked her as a director. I didn't see Charlie's Angels. I did see Pitch Perfect 2. I didn't think it was as good as the first movie, but I don't really care about that franchise, so it didn't really matter to me.
Me neither.
But I like her as an actress. I think she's very, very funny. I think she has a great sense of comedic timing. She's also a talented dramatic actress as well.
I don't really know much about her.
Well, like I said, she's in Slither. You've seen that.
I've seen Slither. And
she is... What I think that you would have really seen her in the most is in Modern Family, but you don't seem to remember her in that.
Who was she?
She's like Cameron Mitchell's straight best friend who's like a party animal. She's always wanting to go out and party.
No, not familiar.
Okay. Well, maybe you should watch more Modern Family.
Okay. I'll catch myself.
She's in a ton of stuff. She's in Pitch Perfect.
Don't care about that at all.
That's a really weird movie for you not to care about.
Never got into it.
Did you ever watch it?
Yep.
You never got into it. Were you really young?
Yeah.
It's a musical.
Yeah, I was young.
It's a musical comedy. Okay. Yeah, I can't. Sorry. She hasn't been in any Pokemon games, so I don't know what you would have seen her in.
Look, you don't need to bring my addiction into the podcast.
I'm just saying, if she's not on a Pokemon card, then you don't know who it is.
I don't even bother with the TCG, okay?
So, Elizabeth Banks directed this movie. Based on the trailers, I thought we knew we were getting into. I think for the most part, that is what the movie was, which is a silly, goofy riff on a true story. The true story being that there really was a man who threw a bunch of drugs out of an airplane and then jumped out himself, but he got tangled in his parachute and he died.
Yep.
And a bear did get into some of the cocaine because he threw it into the woods. And that bear, I believe, just died.
Of overdose. Yeah, and I don't know. We don't even really know how much of the cocaine he ate or anything. Yeah.
So that's where the true story part ends. And if you've seen the trailer for this movie, the cocaine turns this bear basically into like the Hulk. It makes him very angry.
Yep.
And incredibly violent and aggressive and murdery.
Silly.
Yes, and it is a silly, but again,
it reminds me of myself.
really strong and scary and also very, very funny. That's how why'd you make such a long sound?
Okay.
You could call my friends.
Look, we're going to have you give a plot synopsis for this, but you just now said something that I think is kind of a fallacy, or at least a fallacy if you're going to be speaking the truth, which is you said also very, very funny.
Yeah, well, maybe I should say very silly.
Okay.
Or kind of silly.
Also, I don't think I used fallacy correctly. I'm
use
embarrassed
fallacy.
about it. Yeah.
Not really.
Scratch that.
What? How?
All right, so there's not a lot of stuff we need to talk around before you give the plot synopsis. And the plot synopsis for this should be very, very easy. Easier than anything else you've ever done.
I think I got this in the bag.
Let's get one.
All right.
Once again, we don't have a jingle.
I think I got this.
You gotta do your own jingle this time.
Oh, okay. Is it the same one I did last time?
Yeah, just do it, yeah.
Plot synopsis.
Yeah, I make you do your own jingles around here.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, you're doing that, I'm gonna have some water.
Okay, have fun. I won't, even though I need it greatly.
Go ahead.
I kind of want to watch you with longing eyes. Okay. All right, I got this. A bear does cocaine.
Okay, I would put at least one "and" on there.
Okay, fine. And
becomes a murder bear.
Don't say it. Becomes a murder bear. And some drug dealers are trying to get their cocaine.
Oh, no. See, you already messed it up.
Oh.
All you need to do is to say a bear does cocaine and then becomes a murder bear.
Are you serious?
Or just say, and then he starts, it makes him murderous. You don't need to add those other plot things that don't need to be in the synopsis.
Would that just be in the summary then?
Sure.
Would I be like, drug dealers and parents come together to defeat the bear?
They don't.
Of cocaine.
They don't come together, though.
Well, they come together literally.
Well, I think that's a great way to seg into
I like
this part of the movie, to the part of the movie that's about the quote unquote plot.
I like your use of, I like your shorthand or whatever, your shortening of segue.
People say that.
I've never heard it once in my whole entire life.
Well, your vocabulary is limited.
Seg is literally just shortening the word segue, and you're gonna say my vocabulary is limited?
It's a thing that people say.
No one says that.
I know.
You just sound kind of like...
If it's not a word that you read on a Pokemon card, then it doesn't exist. God. So, this movie does have a plot, unfortunately.
Okay.
It is about a bear that does the cocaine, and they make a lot of jokes about it. And the movie is astonishingly violent, which we'll get into later.
More violent than I expected.
Which I don't have any problem with at all. But the amount of plot that we have to deal with Ray Liotta's character, whose son is like grieving his wife that left. And so he's having to take care of his son, so his grandson. And then he sends another drug dealer to go help him go get his son, so they can, see how many times I'm saying son?
Yeah.
So that they can go to the woods to get the cocaine. And then this one little girl, doesn't like her mom's new boyfriend, so she wants to go out to the woods to paint some waterfalls. I don't know what that means, by the way, paint the waterfalls.
Maybe she's going to a waterfall.
Oh, she wants to paint it?
Well, not the water, but...
That's what I mean, like paint a picture of it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's described really weirdly.
That's not what I meant.
What did
I meant he's going to go to a waterfall. She's going to go to a waterfall and then paint by it.
That's what I just meant.
You said paint the waterfall.
Like paint a picture of the waterfall.
Yeah, that's not...
Nobody would say, I'm going to paint... I thought we were going to paint the falls today, when they just mean they're going to stand next to the falls and paint them. It can either mean that she's painting the waterfall, which doesn't make any sense, or she's painting a picture of it, which I think now is that one.
I think it's the former.
That she was going to go paint the actual waterfall?
Yeah, because I feel like I saw a waterfall.
Yeah, we did. But how do you paint a waterfall?
You paint behind it?
See, that's dumb. Now you realize that I was actually accidentally correct when they were obviously going to go paint a picture of the waterfalls.
Well, why did they go to the waterfalls to paint a picture of the waterfalls?
Because you look at, why do you have to have a naked lady to paint a picture of a naked lady?
Well, waterfall, you have a vague idea of what a waterfall looks like.
But this is the secret when they want to paint this specific one.
Okay, all right.
Either way, the point is that's happening. Then we have a park ranger who's in love with the park inspector, and she's trying to go out into the woods with him. So
And there's a police officer who's also going there.
Oh yeah, and there's a cop who's like on the trail. Yeah,
4 lines of people.
So on the face of it, you can see that there's too much plot here for a movie called Cocaine Bear. Now, I understand the impulse to get a bunch of people there at once, but I felt like it was just way too messy, and it caused there to be too much backstory. You know what I mean? Yeah. We open with a great, funny, violent bear attack scene, and then we have quite a decent amount of time of setting up all these other character beats and arcs.
That's another one. The 2 hikers from the beginning of the movie are also there.
Yeah, but they don't really have a plot. So
okay.
But yeah, that's a little bit messy, and so that's why normally they would have a thing like, think of Jaws, right?
I am thinking of Jaws.
You have a specific event. There's this big summer or whatever beach party that everyone's coming to. So you don't have to have weird little reasons for everybody to be there already.
Yeah, like a family needed to go to the beach to get food or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now you can introduce characters and things like that. But even Jaws was more economical than Cocaine Bear as far as finding ways to get all these people in the woods. But the second thing would be, if you're going to spend that much time, then you really need to have characters that are worth wasting that much time on. And I don't know. I felt like all of these actors none of them were embarrassing themselves or anything, but they were all floundering to figure out what kind of movie they were in, how to play their characters. Did you feel that? It was just kind of, it's hard to explain.
I don't know, man. I mean, I didn't feel that exact way, but I mean, no, I didn't feel that way.
So you thought the characters were great? Good three-dimensional?
I didn't think they were three-dimensional. They did feel very flat and like they didn't really have any motives or whatever, but I still feel like they didn't seem like they were like floundering. I mean, I guess I just don't really understand how you're describing them.
What do you mean?
You said they were floundering.
They didn't seem to have a, like, so look at the guy from Modern Family. He's in it. I can't remember what the actor's name is.
Mitchell?
Yeah. He's playing this incredibly over-the-top, broad performance. You know, he understands that he's in a movie called Cocaine Bear, and what that means for him is that this is a silly movie where he can put on a very sitcom-y performance. Would you not agree that was a very sitcom-y kind of performance he was doing?
Yeah.
And in fact, it was so sitcom-y, it would be like if he was Mitchell and he had like put a wig on and a mustache and he was trying to pretend like he was somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
then you have the guy, the Han Solo guy's name I can't pronounce. Heinrich Heimlensteimen.
It's not Heimlensteimen. It's Alden for one.
Oh, it's just Alden?
Yeah.
Oh, Alden.
And his last name is Ehrenreich.
Yeah. Alden Ehrenreich.
Ehrenreich.
I'm not going to say it like that.
You have to say it like that.
I'm just going to call him fake Han Solo.
Okay.
So he's a great actor. I've seen him in a Coen Brothers movie. Honestly, quite frankly, it's not his fault that Han Solo movie wasn't very good. He was quite good in it if he would have just been playing somebody else.
He seems quite good, just in general.
And in this movie, he's not very funny. He doesn't, some of his line deliveries, he can't tell how they're supposed to be delivered. You can just say. So he's just saying them flat. He's just saying them straight. So that's what I mean by floundering. They're not adding or taking away anything from the performance. They're professional actors. They're saying their lines.
Yeah.
But with the exception of what I think was, frankly, the wrong decision by the Modern Family guy to go that broad, they didn't seem to know what tone they were supposed to be playing in. You know what I mean? And as a result, I think you're doing a lot of shorthand to say that I didn't think this movie was very funny for a movie called Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. But I guess that makes sense.
You have 40 seconds to expound.
What do you mean? I agree with you.
Didn't say I agree.
I didn't find I didn't find this movie funny at all in any way. I mean, there was like 3 lines maybe that I thought were kind of funny, but I feel like for the most part, I feel like for how violent this was not.
Did you think the Cocaine Bear parts itself were funny, or are you talking about just the human actors? I'm talking about specifically just the human characters.
Yeah, so there wasn't even that many funny parts of the Cocaine Bear doing things either, in my opinion. There's only, like, once again, 3 more parts of that for a 90-minute movie. But yeah, no, I don't think there was like I said, 3 line deliveries were funny, but that's it.
All right. Well, we need to take a quick break. We'll start right back at this exact same moment because this is a very important part of this movie. But yeah, we're gonna take a quick break and we'll see you on the other side, or you'll hear us on the other side.
Oh my God! Just
drink your water.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Hi, this is Sarah.
And I'm Carter.
And this is Some of Our Thoughts.
We're 2 Southern sommeliers, and we want to share everything we love and know about wine. We started hanging out during quarantine and cooking and drinking and listening to music, and we just thought this would be a great way to bring everything we know to you guys.
We will make wine knowledge and food pairings easy and approachable. So put on your favorite vinyl, grab your favorite glass of wine, tune into our show, and let's have some fun.
Wine and vinyl. So check us out on roguemedianetwork.com or wherever you get your favorite podcast. We'll be talking about a lot.
What are we doing here, Rusty? What are we going to do?
Yep, we're doing the King of the Hill rewatch podcast.
King of the Hill rewatch podcast. Yeah, so we're going to go through one episode at a time. Come along for the ride with us.
Come check it out.
And give me a good like Dale Gribble quote to go out on. Wingo.
Yeah, Wingo.
Wingo. All right. Well, join us for the King of the Hill rewatch podcast.
Deep in the heart of Texas, that drinks his brew and he spits his chew. Deep in the heart of Texas, the TV blares but no one cares. Deep in the heart of Texas, here we go.
Welcome to One Star Rewind, a new podcast about those dreaded 1-star reviews that every business owner hates to receive, but yet every customer loves to read. During this podcast, we will peel back that 1-star review to better understand how it happened, when it happened, and what the business owner is doing after receiving that 1-star review. This podcast will be about love, hate, and laughter. On One Star Rewind, we will meet with real business owners who will tell their stories and how they do rely on reviews for their business. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or download us at roguemedianetwork.com. Please subscribe, but only rate and review for not a 1-star review. Join us each time for a new review and a new story.
Welcome back to the Kid Season, the podcast, and our discussion of Cocaine Bear.
So we were talking about the comedy element of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so you said you didn't think the movie's funny at all.
Well, I mean, I think I probably chuckled like a couple of times.
Right.
I keep saying 3 times, but there's that, and then all the things aren't adding up, right? So I'm just going to say a general amount of times.
I thought that a lot of the stuff with the bear itself, for this is a fairly lowish budget movie, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So for a lower budget movie that's featuring a fully CGI'd bear, which clearly was, which
Really?
is unfortunate.
It did. I thought it looked pretty good. It looked way better than the animals in like Prey.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't think it looked bad for CGI, but it was very clearly a CGI bear. I would have liked to see a little bit more practical effects, but whatever. That's not the main thing. I thought that most of the bear stuff was at least mildly amusing, sometimes better.
Mm-hmm.
They did actually go for a little bit of slashery. They kind of decided to choose some things like the bear was a villain in a slasher movie.
Yeah.
I found that amusing also. And I think that's the problem. Amusing is about as strong of a word as I can use for most of the parts of this movie. And then the parts with the human characters I found not amusing at all.
Yeah, that sounds like this movie was just so weird because whenever I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, this bear's doing a funny dance. This movie seems funny. It's called Cocaine Bear. This will be funny. But yeah, it never even reached levels of normal amounts of funny.
And I want to be clear, just for the listeners, the movie is a comedy.
Yeah, it's not
like we went in thinking it was going to be a comedy and then it was a serious bear attack movie.
Yeah, it wasn't like a drama or anything.
Oh no, this bear is like snorting cocaine off of people's severed limbs, and every time he gets a hit of cocaine, he gets recharged and revigorated. I mean, this, what I mean? This is a silly movie.
Yeah, but like I was saying before, right before we broke, it was there was so much horribly violent stuff, which I usually am all for. My dad can vouch for that.
I'm not going to vouch for how much you love violence.
I love violence deeply in my heart.
Oh my God, violence. You're going to get arrested.
But it just felt brutal because it wasn't like this like balance and like contrast of like, oh, this is super funny and oh, that was crazy gross. It was just like, oh, that was really horrible and now there's nothing to offset it.
Right.
So I just felt kind of sad almost.
Yeah, it felt kind of mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like when that lady gets her face smeared off on the pavement. It was just like gross.
Yeah, just like.
I want to say something though, because I've been following the movie. It's doing really well. It probably will make a decent amount of money, and Elizabeth Banks will be fine. And it also has pretty good reviews. And I read something today that made me
doubt.
It made me think that this may have been the big issue on how come the movie didn't resonate or didn't hit us right.
Okay.
Because we like movies like this.
We do.
You know what I mean?
We do. That's why we saw it. That's why we were excited.
Instead of talking about how funny it was, or oh, wasn't it gnarly when this person's head got bit off, or when this lady's face got smeared off on the pavement, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, we just kind of left feeling gross and unsatisfied.
Yeah.
And also, all of our conversation was me talking about like how inept I felt like the direction and filmmaking was, which I stand by.
Oh yeah, there was a bunch of weird stuff in this.
And we'll get to that in a second. Not that anybody came to listen to us talk about Cocaine Bear for that, but we're gonna give it to them anyway.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Here's I think was the missing piece
for us.
Yeah, and I read a thing today, and I was like, I bet that was it. I bet 1,000,000 times that was it.
3D.
Nope.
Sorry.
I can't remember what critic it was, but he said this movie is like an absolute blast. Like it's a blast of adrenaline from the front to back.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, if you see it in a packed theater with a good crowd. We saw it in a completely empty theater with 3 dudes who I'm 90% sure were on cocaine because they all 3 kept leaving together to go to the bathroom multiple times during the movie.
Yeah.
And that's it. It was just us and those 3 dudes that kept walking in and out of the theater.
Well, you see, that feels, if that was what it's necessary, if that is the necessary piece to have a good time with this movie, I feel like then it's not a very good movie.
I'm not saying that any of our criticisms aren't valid. I'm just saying that can imagine if everybody around you is like laughing hysterically at a scene, or they're all gasping at the same time, or they're all gasping and then laughing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That really does propel you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've gone to see comedies that got great reviews that everybody loved, and but for whatever reason, I would have to go by myself. And if you're sitting in a movie theater watching a comedy alone,
well, yeah,
you know what I mean?
But we weren't alone. We were with each other.
Yeah, but
that should make it more fun.
I really do. Like I said, that doesn't take away the criticism of the movie, but I would say that if we were watching this in if you're at the theater, a nice sized crowd of people, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I really think that would have changed it just would change the atmosphere. Or if we had been having a cocaine bear party at our house, and we'd had a bunch of friends over to watch the movie and made themed snacks.
Yep, like
and
Coke.
and everybody
There's lots of cocaine while watching Cocaine Bear.
Nope.
I bet those guys had a lot of fun watching that movie.
They didn't seem like they did. They were too busy going off to do more cocaine. But anyway, I'm just saying, we would have had a big party and there's a bunch of people there and everybody's like in the right vein. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, a good comedy movie should work no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a very similar movie to this. It's a lot meaner, I think. But the comparison is there. It's a killer animal movie, which was the remake of Piranha. Did you ever see that? Why would you do that?
I mean, and blow right into the mic. I don't know. Did I? I feel like I've seen. No, I don't think I have.
Well, that movie also, I saw it with one other person. The theater was completely empty, and I just thought it was mean, spirited, and gross, and I didn't laugh. And it was Piranha 3D. A man's weenie gets bit off by a piranha. You know what I mean? This movie's
in 3D.
Yes, this movie's supposed to be funny.
Sounds pretty funny.
And or at least tongue-in-cheek funny horror. That movie's much more leaning towards the horror movie. But either way, I'm just saying it didn't work for me. And I think, again, if I was in a big raucous crowd,
being like, ooh.
Yeah. So like I said, I keep saying like I said, but you were correct. If the movie doesn't hold up on its own, then it doesn't hold up. But a movie like this, I would say I would give a little bit more of a pass to it. You know, if you go to a rock concert and you're the only person in the audience and it's just you listen to music, sure, that can be fun, or it can be really boring.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just like too loud and too much.
Yeah.
And I think do you not think that there's any merit to that idea at all?
I mean, yeah, I think that makes sense. I can't imagine that. It's like riding a roller coaster. I feel like it's just scary if you're alone by yourself, you know? I mean, I like your rock concert analogy more than my thing.
You're just making up another analogy.
I was just imagining like if I was on a roller coaster all alone, that just sounds really scary. But you are always laughing hysterically, screaming away, which then makes it a lot more fun.
so then the movie should have been scarier for us, is what you're saying.
Well, no, I'm just saying like that would make more like fun. I see what you mean. I agree with. There's some merit.
I think we would have had more fun at the theater.
I agree. I concur.
So we were talking about some of the things that I consider in-depth filmmaking. What are some of the things that you noticed that you thought was?
Okay, I think I told my friend about this whenever I was telling him about this movie, but we both saw it, and it was the weirdest thing I think I've ever seen.
You and your friend both saw it?
No, you and I.
Oh,
it was the weirdest thing that you and I have ever seen. I think in all of film, in my whole 16 years of film watching, this was the weirdest thing in the world.
No way. You've seen The Room.
Yeah, but this is a movie that a smart person is creating.
Okay.
So am I okay to describe this?
Yes.
This happens maybe like the final act of the movie, right? I'm going to tell it to you like it is. I'm telling you the audience.
You need to make it fast though. You're taking a really long time.
Okay. So this happens final act in the movie, and they're going into the bear's cave, and they say like, oh, I don't want to do this. Did you see what happened to that hiker? And we didn't see anything about the hiker. And then they flash to like a second before they entered the cave of us seeing the hiker's like mangled body, and then being like, oh, and then cut back to the cave. Not once have they done a single flashback. Like that was a normal thing that they are doing. And it was just so random and just in such an odd place in the movie for no reason. They could have just had not said that line, and then we could be like, oh, there's a cocaine bear. Did you see what happened to those other people that we already saw get mangled and murdered?
Yeah, I think that where you should put the emphasis there is that what was weird about it was that it was a flashback to an event that had happened just like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So we're flashing back 5 minutes to something they could have just shown us happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do they not just show us, have them find the hiker? And then when they get to the cave, 5 minutes later, they say, I'm not going in there. Remember what happened to that hiker?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like a flashback to us watching behind it. Because I think that's what they were going for. the whole idea of the flashback is funny on its own. But that was an issue that the whole movie has, which is a lot of the ideas seem like ideas that they thought were funny while they were all sitting around drinking, maybe having some hashish. Because they're like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we like just had a flashback to like 5 seconds ago? And if you would have, the thing is, they never make a joke. They have an idea for something to be funny, but they never wrote a joke there.
There's no punchline.
I would say for the whole movie long. That's what they do. So like you can imagine if they're like, remember what happened to that hiker? And then we cut to a hiker screaming while he's getting eaten by the bear, and then they all three are like Scooby-Doo peeking behind a tree or something. You know what I mean?
That'd be funny.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's the best visual gag, but it's a visual gag.
Yeah.
Instead, it just felt like dumb filmmaking. And that, for somebody like Elizabeth Banks, who I think has a really natural knack for comedy, I just thought that this movie was, especially obviously the human parts, they were not filmed with any sense of understanding visual comic timing. You know?
Yeah.
They would have a character make a comment, and then another character respond, and then they have the kind of payoff thing, and the payoff thing would happen in an extreme wide shot, so you can't see any of the characters' faces, which just doesn't make any sense. And like I said, I really feel like the actors were struggling to know what tone, because I think that the idea was, hey, play it straight and it will be funnier. Yeah. I totally agree with that. That's the correct impulse for this movie. But that doesn't mean you still have to write them jokes. You have to write funny things for them to say, and you can't just think of funny scenarios. Like the idea of this much older, kind of robust park ranger lady being in love with I can't remember the actor's name again, the Mitchell guy from Modern Family, and she's like getting dressed, she's like spraying perfume on, she's all excited, she's gonna basically tricking him into going to like watch the sunset with her, right? Under the guise of doing a forest inspection. And then she's really upset because Keri Russell's character, we haven't even mentioned her yet, that's how little impact these actors have, you know what I mean? That's a funny scenario. Horned up park ranger lady hoping to get lucky with this guy she's been in love with for a long time, but then Keri Russell comes up being all hotter and tagging along with them, and the scenario's all there. It's like it's swirling around comedy the whole time without ever being able to hit it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you also never really get a sense of where the bear is ever.
Yeah,
which I get that it's
no like sense of location.
Yeah, there's no sense of place in the forest, so we never know what direction they're going. There's just
no relativity.
I don't know if that's the right word.
Like you can't tell where people are relative to anything else.
Yeah, relative to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the one of the huge subplot is them trying to find a gazebo. We don't get an idea of where the gazebo is on the map compared to where everybody else is. Yeah, it's one of those movies where they said we're going to play it straight, but then they waved away everything else by saying, I mean, come on, we're in a movie called Cocaine Bear. We don't have to worry about that stuff.
Yeah.
And then also, like I said, not writing.
Yeah, and if you keep not worrying about enough stuffs, then it eventually becomes what we saw.
Yep. So anyway, we're out of time. Weirdly, I could probably talk about this for at least 5 more minutes, but we're done. We didn't even mention the kids. There's kids in this movie.
By the way.
Another terrible idea, because we know in a movie like this, they're not going to kill the kids. The kids are never really in any danger. And nor are they particularly funny or charming or anything. Just kind of annoying.
Yeah, one of the kids just seemed stupid.
Yeah, also they do cocaine at the beginning of the movie, like a huge amount of cocaine, and they have there's no follow-up with that at all.
Yeah, they eat like a
big spoonful.
Yeah, like a tablespoon.
I mean, spit it all out, but it's
either way, they're still cocaine and they're children. Yeah. So
anyway, look, so I'm gonna be kind here, and I'm gonna give this movie a 6.5, and out of 10, and that's only on the basis that I expect that if I would have seen it with a big raucous crowd, I could have been giving this movie as high as an 8. Because I wouldn't have cared about all the filmmaking stuff and whatever, and I would have been laughing along with everybody, and that would have peppered over the fact that they never even wrote any jokes. But anyway, so...
A 10 what?
6 out of 10 decapitated heads. Decapitated stoners.
Okay. I wonder what mine will be. I'm not gonna be nice, because I don't care. I'm gonna give it like a 4 out of 10. Let's go. Actually, we're gonna do something different. We're going to give it a 2 out of 6 or 8. I don't know what the math would be.
Let's go,
there.
bro. We're 2 minutes
We're
over.
gonna give a 3 out of 8. We're gonna give them, let's say,
3 out of 8. That's almost a 50%.
it's not that.
Come on. 3 out of 8 what?
3 out of 8. I think I'm gonna say really stupid, lazy, bad jokes.
Well, that was a stupid, lazy, bad joke as well.
I agree.
All right. That's our
couldn't
time.
think of
Until
anything.
next time.
Bye.
Follow us on Instagram at The Kid in the Pick and on RogueMediaNetwork.com.
Until next time.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.